أحام صار بالدنيا. الو الو. اوكي والبث بدأ. اهلا انت.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بدأت بث. ياي.
عب يا بثاث.
كيفني؟ كيف يوم الجمعة معك؟
حلو يعني.
يعني
ثانية لحظة. لا تطلع هذا البث، شوف ديسكورد لحظة.
اوكي. طيب اعطيك ترى صوتك طالع يعني كلش طالع بس ما البث.
لا مو كلام.
اوكي.
ديسكورد لا يطلع بالبث الحين، لحظة.
ايه بس كمان سون. عشان قلت لي قبح اعوذ بالله. يجي يبي براء.
عندك زبال يا أخي. شوف
نايما. ما عليه نايما.
طقيت مشوار كذا أبو 20 دقيقة مشي، يمكن 30 دقيقة. هذا روح ورجع يعني، مو روح ورجع، هذا بس الروحة. الرجعة نفس الوقت، نفس المسافة.
وات مونن مستر دحوم.
حي الله دحوم.
هاي الله دحوم. هاي الله دحوم بسيرفره.
الله يحييك.
لا يا اخي ما هو السيرفر.
اوه دحوم سبسكرايب قضينا قضت فين الله المستعان.
من الترين هم الفاوندر جبته.
طيب لو شيله.
والله المهم جاك كذا.
انت تدري اني معي الايميل الرمز واشيل قناتك.
ايه تبي تسوي شي درام نشيلها اول. طيب begin the game كذا العب يا هاند. اتوقع ايش كذا العب.
ستانلي بارابل شفت شير سكرين.
اوكي.
This is the story of
تو
a
يدنا.
man named Stanley.
سوي شيء.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
وش
427.
لا يعتبرها ميوزك.
لا انت فاتح سكرين.
وشو؟
لا سكبت له.
سامعين صوت الرجال.
سكبت بعيد.
عد.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
سلام.
Stanley worked for a
إيقونية.
company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
ليش؟
Employee number 427's
بلبث
job
بصوت.
was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed
Yeah,
buttons
sure.
on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what
هيا العيد.
سوي شير اوديو الغالب.
شير اوديو اوكي. هيا العيد. ويا ويلك ما تزبط الحين بتطق معكم.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
يضبط.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly the job. Stanley was happy.
Stanley was happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
يعني يطلع
He had
كريدتس.
been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
أفكر اللعبة إنه لازم تعاند. طيب ليش الذي يسوي إذا ما طلعت؟
ما هو لازم تعاند تلعبها زي قد ما تفكر.
أنا واحد بس أضغط زرار الطاولة مكروفة صراحة.
بشوفك من البث طفى الشير إنك قام يلقلق.
أوكي fair enough. زين. أعطى دفن أوكي.
All of his
ظاهر.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
رسوي تري هذه 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 15 16
I have to
17
say, I'm
20.
still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 50.
هنينك يا مريض.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417 يا والله حيوان يسحب عليه. 417 427 487 بيسوق علي عشان اروح الميتنج روم صح؟
هو انت كمل طريق.
اوكي اصبر هنا في زر. اوكي الطافيات اقدر انقز معلومة كويسة. 41 صح؟ اي 421 الظاهر مدري شيء زي كذا. 417 425 417 اوه ذا هي. ما بالميتنج روم. صدق انه ما جاني يمكن عشاني ما شغلت الاتشيفمنتس. اوكي انا اللي خمت.
هذا شيء موجود من جد اللعبه يعني.
يبي 20 مرة هذا 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437 يا حيوان مترنا.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415 يا ليلى عبيط. دقيقة 41 حتى ما بدي يقول بسم الله بدي يستعبط. 415 415 4 الماوس حقي ذي برون 5 2 3 4 5 6 7
Now, back to
8
door number 437.
437 اوكي.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
The copy machine. هذه.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
استعبط الحيوان.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
419 هذا 418 419 شلون القى؟
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
يلا let's go 416. دي وينه؟ اي 416 دقيقة دقيقة. advanced high مو very high. اوكي. لا كان لعبة كرجت. كلام كلام القهر مرة كان يلقلي بشكل قبيح. ويلكم باك.
من بكى أكل.
طف مزر. وين؟
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
اسكت
Okay.
ساكت.
Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
ايه
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose
ما
you were to
المشكلة.
click the door 20 times. I would say
20 times,
that's the
huh?
kind of effort that warrants recognition.
اقسم بالله قارن. اوكي نراك على خير.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true
Everyone.
effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
بسوي ما علي منك. ابي اتشيفمنت. ما ابي الاتشيفمنت. ابي اخلص. اوريك.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417 المشكلة بس خنطة في هذا عشان اذكر قاهرا. 417 اللي هنا. يلا.
Oh,
أوريك
great.
يا حيوان.
Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437 437 437 437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
اوكي. اخي لاحظت انه كل ما طولت بهذه يبدا يلقلق عندي.
Now, back to door number 437.
437.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
اوكي كوبي ماشين.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
ما ادري ليش احس بشطف من هنا وبشوف واحد.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416 416 416. Let's go.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Let's go. The copy machine for the win.
Finish it off, Stanley!
Yes.
5 clicks on door 430!
1 2 3 4
Yes! We did it!
let's fucking go.
That felt amazing. Oh, you really
We
earned it,
did
Stanley.
it,
Nothing
boys,
could hold
we
you back.
did it.
Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think,
Ooh.
only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now? What were you thinking?
خلاص خلصنا اللعب. جزاكم الله خير، نراكم في البث القادم. خلاص قضينا، مع السلامة، قفل، باي باي، ما في شيء. تبي تشوف تكملة البث؟ روح حاول تفتح الباب 417. اخ اصبر، صح ليش قاعد انا بسيرفر دحين؟ بروح اتكي بسيرفري قاعد ابث. صح ليش اتكي؟ انا عندي سيرفر محترم بروح اتكي به. ايوه كذا، يا سلام. اهلا دحوم. طيب ايش كان يبي من هو اصلا؟ اوه زر ثاني، يوزر نيم اكسس. اقدر اشوف. شاني باتن. اوه شاني باتن، شاني باتن. ميتنج روم صح؟ قال ميتنج روم. هذه ميتنج روم صح؟ شوف في اوه الميم الشهير.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
اي انا اذكر انه تعال تروح ذا رايت يعني، بس انه برجع ورا، ما اقدر ارجع ورا. اوكي بسمع كلامه. والله فعليا الرجال ذا خل اسمع كلامه شوي. اوكي اوكي.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting room. Who moved my desk? من ذا؟ طيب انا 41، لا من 417، انا 427 ما موجود. جيم. Tomorrow complete today's unfinished. Okay. Room closet. اوه فتحتها، هذه اول مرة تفتح. في 3D filament هنا تهيألي.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned
3D
around
print
and got back on track.
filament عليه علامة نووي.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
اوكي.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
اوكي. شوف شخرته معه. اوكي. كز باثروم. اوكي. في شايني باتن؟ ما في شايني باتن. تلفونين. بوس اي بوس. اوكي.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled,
Astaghfirullah.
Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
وين؟ كم قال؟ كم قال؟ 4217.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. طيب اكيد في زبنة هنا. ما في شيء. قاعد امشي بس ما قاعد اشوف شيء. وين انا؟ شرط. الو. اوكي رحت.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
طيب.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
اوكي. طبشور ولا دم ذا؟ طبشور. طز. مايند كنترول فاسيلتي. اوكي.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to
يمكن مكتوب
himself.
عربي. لا
Did he
أرجع
have the
بس.
strength to find out?
اوكي. employ prototype. لا هذا له دخل. ما اتوقع له دخل باللور. طيب. cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
هذا هنا.
Each bore the
صح؟
number of an employee in the
اي
building,
والله هذا هنا.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
ندور وادم. هذا ليش عليه كلام؟ 528. هذاك ليش تحت؟ تسود. غرفة واحد. فايرد. 601. جاري مفايرد. اوكي. في ناس ما لهم ارقام.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Big button. Big button. Push. Big root. Bugrut button. Oi. Mind control هاي viewers مع السلامة.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
ترى ايش حياتي مستانس. ايش ذاك بايوس؟ Do 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 28 مارس.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Blackness.
Was it over?
يجي ويل بلاي. خلصنا. يقدر اسمه صوتي يمشي.
He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Oof, yeah, Skyrim.
He needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was
بشوف الفاسيلتي شلون جاي شكله الغريب. اوكي ما اقدر اعرف. Be the game. بس خلاص. End is never the end is never the end is never the. اوكي. سو الحين دامي سمعت كلامه بكل مرة قبل شوي فهالمرة بقول لك بوجه كل مرة.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ما بيروح. ما بيروح. اوه وش هذا؟ awaiting input. اوه input received. ما اقدر اسوي input هنا. طيب اقدر اسوي input ثاني؟ طفيت كمبيوتر. لا. هناك في input received. طيب في كمبيوتر. ايه في كمبيوتر هناك طفيته. هذا ايوه.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
انا تو سمعت كلامك الحين بقول لك بوجهك.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a
حيوان.
single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
بتقول شيء عن الباب؟ قول شيء عن الباب. مسوي يعني اني حرم اللعبة. يلا ولا هذا مسوي انبوت. اكيد لازم اسوي انبوت شيء. شلون سويت اول انبوت اصلا؟ والله مسوي مستر اعرف كل شيء. انا قاعد ضاغط قاعد افتح غرفتي ما اقدر ادخل. حيوان ما في شيء اسويه. يلا جي معنا نروح للاوفيس. اوه اذكر في سحب. طيب ميه
When Stanley
يا
came to a
قهر
set of two
حيوانات
open
افتح الباب.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
بدخل رايت.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
لا.
admire it.
ما انا بروح لللاونج. ما في غرفة تفتح. ما ابي اسمع كلامك. ما اسمع كلامك. ما ابي ادخل. افتح باب. اصبر دقيقة.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
امشي.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Fuck you.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warning, do not jump from cargo left while it's in the motion wall cause death. ما قلت شيء اني اركب هذه صح؟ يعني عادي اروح به. بس الباب هذا ما شفته. ما يبي له كارت. معي كريدت كارت. Cargo left 1000 penalty for jumping off the cargo 5000. لو طبيت من هنا والله بعيد كم دور من الصناديق؟ 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 طوابق. مقارنة بالباب ذاك هذا عن طابق الصندوق. يمكن يطابق من فندق.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? What? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
انا ما
Let me
بيك
prove it.
اخر
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
لا لا مستحيل ما في، خلاص اعطيتك فرص امورك طيبة بس لا ما ابي. 2B3 ما شفت ذولته. 2B3 ما شفت احرف، شفت ارقام بس الى 600. صح طف التحديات ذا حسابي. شو طف التحديات؟ حفز اطلع زيتها واقلب وجهك. ما عندي تحديات. سيفز واتشيفمنتس. اوه اني خلاص اتشيفمنتس عنك. اوكي. آه. تصدق شكل اللعبة تستاهل، شكلي بشتريها. شكل اللعبة تستاهل.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
زين. ليش تقفل الباب يا حمام؟ ووب. قهر. سنيك. I know you're in here. Get out. برا. برا. RN برا. اطلع. ترى كلنا دارين. برا اطلع. معليش هذا انت ما انتبهت لك. برا يلا. وش قال ريد بروح بلو.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out
لا
what
لا
lies at the
لا
end of this
بس
road
بس
you've
أبي
chosen?
أبي
Well,
عند.
don't let me stop you.
أبي عند بس.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
نعم. لا fuck. No. Get me out. Let me out. حيوان. صادني كنت بروح باب اليمين انه قال اول شيء راح باب اليسار فكنت بكمل على
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't understand. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard Daniel skid. Total door opened. Then the skipped into sequence. Sadly. Oh, مصدقين. This is you. How long can you take this? ما نبغى الغلط نفسه، بختار اقصى باب يقطع لعب علي حيوان.
Now, would you say
It's a
that
bad-
competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
3.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
ما عادي خذ راحك.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's
قطع
effective?
أصابع.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of
ما
ideas.
يحتاج
I can't
ما يحتاج
think of a
لا
single
تصح
thing
ريس.
that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
قبل ماينكرافت شكله ولا اوه والله اقطع.
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
انا
At
اذكر
last, the one thing you
أنا أذكر
always
قلت-
desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough?
والله يقطع
Don't
بالصوت
understand.
ماينكرافت صدق.
Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
ايش البيت الخرا هذا؟
Does it need... yes, of course. And just to finish it all off... Yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
لا شكرا بقعد هنا. انا بروق. شوف ما شاء الله الطفي مكان كشته. انا بسامع كلامك ينقلع. ما في. قفل الباب. اقدر اقفله. حيوان يا اخي. يوم جاي قال لي بلعبك لعبه ثانيه جت ببالي حقت فاير واتش اللي كذا في لقطه انهم تبدلوا اماكن. الميم عرفته؟ ما توقعت من يوم قلت ماينكرافت ترى كنت استقبل، ما توقعت انه صدق بيلعب ماينكرافت يبني بيت المريض. يا ساتر. طيب ما ابي ادخل، ما بسمع كلامه. اسوي انتحر. ما اقدر ارقى، ما اقدر اكل تراب. خليني اموت. يا الله.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
يلا مشينا. Let's fucking go. اوف والله شكله صدق بروح مايننج. اصبر تحمس ذا.
Oh my, It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
لا والله. طيب ما انا برايح اجيب لايت شكلي، فخلاص بمالي لا انزل. في فحم ما اقدر اكسره. في فحم هنا. اوكي المكان يمدينا خط من هنا.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
اوه كان في زومبيز. What the
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You
خلاص
trapped in a
بطل
glass
الحيوان.
box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
وليش الحمام كذا وسخ؟ طيب اوه باخذ شي معي. اوكي اقدر اخذ هاك معي. لا ما اقدر اخذه. راح هذه سوق على الحيوان.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
دقيقة في حركة اللي يسوي لوك على نفسه، انه يحط مثلا هذا بالزاوية بحيث انه ينحشر جوا هنا لحاله. ايوه يمدين. في حركة حشرة، في حركة انك تسوي لوك على نفسك.
Genius.
بس
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm...
let's go. زبنت هنا. اوكي green cabinets. رحت دخل انقرز موده مريض. انا هو في نور. ايه غرفتي. طيب know.
I wonder
Hey.
what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Very
I
soon. طيب بعدين so we're waiting. خليني ابي اصبر بيدري ايش صار بيوم هذا.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
هذا هناك حق البروجرس. دقيقة نضيف ذا. كيف حق البروجرس هنا؟ طلع عليه. يكفى بروجرس. طيب
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
طيب بعدين عيني.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
حلو.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
روح
Then,
down.
coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
في شيء.
But
Oh.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
كذا ألعب اللعبة حرفيا
Stanley
عبارة
began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
اللعبة حرفيا عبارة
This
عن
is the
تخلف.
story of a woman named Mariella.
ها؟
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
اوكي خلصت. ممكن ارجع الان. اوكي خلصت. اللعبة هذه حرفيا عبارة عن تخلف. وش القصة؟ القصة كنت اشتغل هذا مكتبي، كنت اشتغل فجأة كنت اشتغل مدة 5 سنين، لا اكل لا نوم لا بمرض. لي 5 سنين اشتغل، فجأة كذا الشغل وقف، طلعت ما لقيت احد، والحين قاعد اتهاوش مع الناريتر ذا الراوي من اليوم. اقسم بالله تخلف.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Okay, end is never the end is never the end is never the end. Okay. كلها شغلات أزواجين. قرقة واحد، والله مرة قرقة، ران كلن كذا الحين. صار في زبد اللعبة مرة متخلفة، تصلح حق الفطور مرة. قرقة واجد ايه مرة، يعني حرفيا ترى نصل 3/4 اللعبة وانا تكي اسمع يقول لي راح يمين روح يسار، لعنة بس كذا.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
لفت ها قلب وجهك.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
عاد كلام ذا يعيد كل مرة خط من هنا، واللعبة كل مرة تنعاد، ترى نفس الشيء اللي تو شفتيه ينعاد.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
ما أخذت ذا صح؟ طريق ما أخذت لا.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Or not.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
طيب الحين يا أطب يا أروح فوق. مرة
Look, Stanley, I
مرة.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
حبيبي والله شكرا. أنا مرة قوي. مرة ثانية.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
ولا الكمبيوتر واحد شغال ذي المرة. اوكي. ما في حق بروجرس. غريبة. اي ذا. waiting input. input received. ولا لازم كذا. ايه الوضع قاعد كذا بس مرات استقعاد مرات يلا نمشي لك الليلة.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
خلاص.
perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
نسيت نقدر نقص.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
شكرا. نسيت اني بقدر انقص باللعبة. نسيت. ما به نقص.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
اوكي. وينه؟ شوف كتفي. Achievement unlocked unachievable. ها؟ نطفي achievement صح؟ disabled. ما ادري ليش قاعد اطفي كمبيوترات بس ما ادري احس لازم اطفيهم. فون.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
ما بشغلك قفل الباب.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
منها.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's
Who's
been
her?
waiting.
مين زوجتي؟ متزوج انا قط عندي عيال. ماي مزر. مين يقصد هار؟
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your... Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible.
والله
Let me
اني داري
double check.
التخلف هذا.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
ها practice.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making
What
process.
the fuck?
Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome
the
back.
fuck?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
نقدر نسوي باركور. نطلع برا فوق. في شي يودي فوق. What the fuck? طيب ولا هو ذا. اوكي سوى روح عشان ما انط. ايه 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 ايه
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
كل ما يصرف شور الدنيا. أنا لازم اموت. اوه لازم اموت عشان هو يحاول انه ما يذبحن. لازم ايه رجع بيتنا الحيوان. يا صاحب الباب ذا كان مفتوح تو. قهر أما القهر قاعد يذلني رجع من وين ما جيت.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
حيوان. قاعد يرجعن الكلب.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
وش رايكم؟ روح ليفت. نقول اقلب وجهك. fuck him.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
اه افتح باب. افتح باب. اني قلت شيء. اوكي ايه مشيت يمين. قال لي روح يسار رحت مشيت يمين. يلا اوكي. يا ترى وين اروح؟ وب. ما ينفع. قهر. طيب يذلنا حيوان أما القهر. What the f...
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do?
دكتور إذا مثلا الواجب هو معطيك مهلة زيادة.
Shut the game down. I have to.
اوه اوكي.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to
Yes.
see?
Yes.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world
Okay,
outside of you? You're a child.
اوكي.
My story.
والله ضاق
If
صدري
you'd just
مرة.
gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
هل اعيد ما سويت ولا اسمع كلامه؟ وصل بس طز. طب برجع ورا اقدر؟ ما اقدر دق معه حتى. اوكي اوكي روجر ذات.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
وقع
Behave
لك.
exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the
شكله عالي
story
خلاص من
first.
جد.
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
نقدر نشوف
Just follow
إذا
my
ورشة
lead and you'll
تغيرت
be
الشيء
fine.
هذا
All
من
right.
مرة.
When
خلاص
Stanley
قفل
came to a
اللعبة.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
اوكي. الدنيا ما
Yet there was
تدمرت.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
هذه اوف زعل قفل الدنيا كلها.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
زعل
his boss's
قفل
office.
قفل الدرج حتى. زعل قلت خلص مهمتي غصب يا حيوان. قفل الدنيا. نفس. البوس اوفيس غيره.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
اوكي.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
00.
He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
115 115 قاعد اكتب 115 بالسبيكر بس
I'm
شلون
sorry, is there a
115
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
115 0000.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain
عشان
yourself,
انقفلت
you
علي يا
coward.
حيوان. التبن.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
ستانلي.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
And
Are you listening to me?
thank you for playing.
Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is
Credits.
important. The story needs
خلصنا
you.
اللعب
It cannot exist
بيس
without you. You
قول لي
understand?
ساعة ألعبه.
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you
طيب
can
رحمته.
I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
ويلي.
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
GG's.
Take as much time as you need.
آخ.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
اوكي. Be my Valentine. اوكي. صامت الدنيا ليش كذا؟ ورا زعل خوينا.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
يضيع.
from here it's, left.
Can I go right? Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
مسابط علي. تردي الكلب.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
حيوان.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
اوكي. اوه الجثان. اوكي دايما الجثان. Oh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
كان في نهاية باللعبة. والله نهايتها واجد ما يقضن.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Huh?
No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
دوري تقول ترايك من يمين ولا يسار؟ يمين ولا يسار ولا قدام يمين ولا قدام يسار؟ رايكم؟ وين نروح؟ من 1 ل 6.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
لا ما درت المال النهاية.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
ما في ولا باب حلوين.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
يبتد تتكلم. ايه هذه اللعبة حرفيا، بس هذه اللعبة.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
اوه لا ها.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back
The
the other way
Grails.
and retrace our steps.
What the fuck?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yay!
Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job.
فزت على اللعبة.
Oh, no.
طيب بعدين.
I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some
You won.
people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
طيب. The
All
Stanley
right,
Parable
I've got a
Adventure
solution.
Line.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
اها. يقول ودنا غرفة جديدة. اوكي. بدنا نسيب جديد.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
شو نعطي ميوزك ميوت. آخ. هنا من هنا دخت يا شيخ.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
اللعبة
You
تستخدم
know what,
طاقة.
Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Yay.
What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
شو اللوب المعاق هذا؟ لفة درنا لفة كاملة، لفتين كاملات. تبغى ببعد عن اللاين اللي قريب خوي، بس للأسف لازم امشي باللاين.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
أبشر.
Okay,
قاعد أدور
so I
بدون ما
know
تقول
that
لي.
each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there
Wrong
must be a
checks.
reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Oh.
Well, who consulted me?
يا
Why don't I
ساتر.
get to decide?
أنا بس زينة
Why don't I
الحمر.
get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean,
No.
did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always
After a
saying that
long
life is
day,
about
at
the
times
journey
sunny
and not
days.
the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a
صار.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
اوكي.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
وبدأ أحس بالتعب، بدأ ياخذ طاقة الوسخ.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. No, this is what he was going to do instead.
0 شوف في طريقة اني احلها. وش هي؟ قول 0 0 1.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to input anything on the device which uses, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845.
5 ما عليك الحين يجيب. اصبر لي بس. 0 0 0 6 0 0 0 7
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
وين تطيح؟ هاكينج. اطق. اقدر اطق وارجع. قهر. نعم.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
صح مايند كنترول فاسيلتي. اذكر به انه اضغط السنو صح.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
اوب ما قدرت. مت. اوكي ما مت. ياي ما مت. ما مت. ياي. طيب بعدين مو بقيت شي خوينا، في شي هنا تحت. Begin the game again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
لا هذه اللعبة الخايسة. قدرت على الحمام. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for the breakfast, money for crisp. طيب
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere.
كم كان رقم؟ بحاول اروح اذبح نفسي تحت هنا.
This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code. By sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
أما القهر. الطريق ما أبو شيء. إيش لعبتكم الخايسة ذي؟
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Yeah,
What
open the
horrible secret
frickin'
did this
door.
place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue, I'm blue.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
حتى لو كملها القم. مشكلة اللعبة ذي.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Future Happiness Foundation. مفروض مكان ستورج.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
في نهاية اليسار الاسكيب ذي.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean, he wondered. Desperate for answers, he began turning the room over looking for clues that might unravel the situation, until at last he discovered a keypad behind the boss's desk. But alas, no code. For this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
اوكي طيب وشو ماما وشو
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
or maybe not.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Whee! We did.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
اه شكرا.
And
Okay.
yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay. You send used throughout the game, buttons pressed mix. The office. Entrance room. Okay. Boss office. Office clock. طيب. Ground. Narrator outtakes. في نور هنا. اوكي ما في شيء. Employees lounge. في demanding. countdown desk. monitor room elevator. طيب game design marker. اوكي Sally's office. Right, emails. Okay. Farm timer. Entrance layout. Meeting room. Sending ما ادري وش ذي. sending levers هذه ما ادري. what happened؟ لعبة كرشت. well اللعبة رجعت، اللعبة كرشت. I can't move. اوكي دام اللعبة كرشت بظهرة النافعة نقفل البث. والله يا صداع، لعبة صداع، لعبة ما هي بحقت اللي تقعد تلعب 4 ساعات كذا. زود. ما قصرت والله، جيت مع الصبحيات هذه يا حوم، ما قصرت. نشوفك ان شاء الله بعدين. وكنوز الى اللقاء وكلهم. السلام عليكم، تصبحون على خير ومع السلامة.